UFC Fight Night goes down. Let's talk about some fights coming up. Goes down this weekend. We got Robbie Lawler taking on RDA. Excellent fight. You know, both fighters have had their ups and downs of late. Currently, RDA is having the ups. This is a big test for him up at welter. What do we think of this one, Brendan?
Did you see odds on that, or at least who's favored? I'd assume it's Lawler, right?
I assume it's Lawler, but
I can check.
Yeah, he can check.
All right, while you're checking, I'll say this: I would think he's the favorite because we've really only seen Robbie's chin get cracked a few times.
Yeah.
The shot that Woodley landed, where he throws that shift 2, feint 1 into like a short 4. He does it a lot. He tries a lot, but we've seen him fight kind of non-strikers recently, you know, people he can exchange with. The point being that punch would have knocked out a heavyweight, right? Yeah. It was just a savage punch. So we saw him get knocked out by that. But other than that, his wars with Rory and Condit was an incredible fight. 2 with Hendricks. I mean, it's hard to hurt that guy. So over 5 rounds, he doesn't really slow down. If anything, in the 5th round, he's usually the best.
Yeah, he gets better.
And RDA kind of prides himself on being a cardio guy. His win over Magny was interesting because it was a beautifully timed leg kick into a wonderful submission transition that was like, bang. Now, if something like that happens, because Lawler's not necessarily a jiu-jitsu guy, but he's got good like takedown defense, etc. So then it becomes, you know, a lot of times it'll become nullified, right? If it goes to the ground, obviously it favors RDA, but he's got to get him there, and he's not really a takedown guy. He's shown more like shut-off chin than Lawler has to me, even at a lower weight class. So I think it favors Lawler a lot, although he's got less of an arsenal. And RDA it seems to be improving lately, especially. It's interesting. It kind of depends on where their chins are at, really. I'm curious because they're both going to land, you assume, right? Like I can see if it's a 5-round fight, so I can see a tentative first, but I don't see a tentative fight. You know, no way.
I don't think Robbie Lawler's ever been in a tentative fight.
No.
Robbie Lawler, by the way, is just a slight favourite.
Makes sense.
Slight, huh?
Yeah.
And that's interesting to me. Here's a guy that, I mean, I think he defended at 170 pound for a while too.
Yeah, he did.
He's beaten the best of the best at 170 minus one guy, but Woodley, I guess, right? But the point being, he hasn't had many losses. You know what I mean? No. So for him to only be a slight favorite over a guy that just jumped up and has beaten Magny, and who else did he beat at 170?
Yeah, Tarek Saffiedine.
Remember?
Yeah, Saffiedine. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good win. Yeah. Not Lawler, either of them though. Yeah. You know,
I think interesting. A lot of the time with the likes of Robbie Lawler, I think when they lose a fight, especially by knockout, considering the wars he's been in, I think a lot of people just look at him, they're waiting for the fall. And I think he proved people wrong in the last one, but I still think in terms of bookmakers, they look at him and they're like, maybe he's gonna start declining now. This is the time. That's probably what it is.
My track in this one is as you said, Brandon, as in RDA is being hurt in the lower weight classes. Like if you look at the Eddie Alvarez,
exactly,
fight,
right hook.
Yeah, he really got hurt in that fight. And for me, like, no, Saffiedine is a big hitter, Magny is whatever, but I just don't think either of them are Robbie Lawler. No. And I think this is
not even close.
Yeah, this is the ultimate test, I think, for RDA at welterweight. Can he hang here? If he can hang with Robbie Lawler's power, you got to go, shit, yeah, he can, holy God. Yeah. But because I was sort of saying, and again, no disrespect to Magny or Saffiedine, is that, yeah, RDA, he's got these couple of wins at welter. It was similar with Cowboy. Cowboy got a couple, and people are going, Jesus, Cerrone looks great at welterweight. And people are saying the same here about RDA. He looks great. But now he's coming up against a real welterweight. A guy who's climbed the mountain.
Very skilled.
Fallen down the mountain and climbed back up again. Yeah. So it's interesting to see here.
One at that, too. He's a hefty dude. Yeah, he's a big guy. I think he makes a pretty heavy cut.
Yeah, he fought middleweight a couple of times. The last one, not the last one, but the one that he lost, the Woodley fight. Yeah. That's an interesting one to look at because a lot of that kind of came from speed and feints, wrestling feints. The shot that landed.
I know it was like it was after 2 minutes, but it was an early finish because they didn't really exchange. It was the first real heavy.
Yeah, Woodley was showing a lot of feints, and it'd be interesting to see if RDA can do that. We haven't really seen him do that quite quite well. I think he mixes up his wrestling and his striking quite good, but he doesn't really put them together. He kind of he has a quick shot, but he doesn't really feint a lot with his takedown. So I don't know if we're going to see more of that. I just don't know. He leaves himself open sometimes as well. And Lawler, I think it could be interesting to see who takes the front foot, because both of these guys really like to take the center of the cage or get somebody at the cage. So it'll be interesting to see who gets the center. And even if RDA gets the center, I think Lawler is way better at fighting on the back foot than RDA is. Way better at fighting on the back foot.
RDA does okay moving backward, but he gets stumbly in his footwork. Like, he has great footwork when he's pressing. When he's, this kind of rolls right into what we were talking about earlier with boxing, right? Especially someone like Lomachenko, forward and backward, laterally, pivots, all of that matters. You can't be a straight line guy. And when RDA gets hit, he panics and he moves straight back. And Lawler's, he's not gonna be like timid, let's say. He's a finisher. You know what I mean, in the purest sense.
And that's when you brought the Eddie Alvarez
aggressive, man.
Yeah, the Eddie Alvarez one as well, where Eddie was moving backwards and RDA was swarming him, and then he kind of just dropped his left hand, and then the right hook came around. So I could see something similar to that. Like, Robbie's very, very good at going on the back foot. It happened in the McDonald fight. For a lot of that, he was fighting off the back foot as well.
Rory was pressing, staying long, which is what every coach, and and he knows I'm a fan of him. Firas is a brilliant coach, and he had a good game plan. He was staying long, and he was kind of keeping Robbie on his back feet. But he's so explosive that all it takes is him to kind of move his head a little bit in the pocket. How about his fight with Melvin Manhoef way back in the day? You ever see that?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Holy moly.
Are you doing that because those leg kicks sounded like gunshots?
Yeah. Jesus Christ, that was a crazy fight.
Because in MMA, most people don't have that kind of a leg kick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's that's K1, Badr Hari's sparring partner leg kick. Yeah. And they sounded like he was going to die, like his legs were going to fall off. Yeah. And all of a sudden, he's in the corner, moving his head a little bit, and lands an overhand right. And similarly to what you were just saying about Eddie's knockout of RDA, right? Yeah. Whereas he was pressing forward and got clipped. The thing is that's what happened with Melvin too. Sometimes people when they're trying to finish. Here's the thing: is Lawler could do that too. Although we haven't seen that happen. Yeah. Is that some people don't press intelligently? Yeah. It's like they hurt someone and they get the adrenaline rush. And I don't think it's a conscious decision. I think it's human nature almost, where you have to train yourself not to do that, right? To go overexert, because you're gonna leave openings. The more you put into a punch, the more I'm here. And I'm open as shit, right? Because that's how it's going to look to you if you're not that hurt, and you're a good counter striker. So it could go either way. I just think Robbie's chin is too strong, honestly.
What about the grappling? Because that could be interesting. RDA is an amazing grappler, but Robbie Lawler has been such a tough guy to take to the mat, and especially keep down there in his most recent fights. When he came from Strikeforce, the blueprint was just take this guy down. He's not easy to take down, but once you get him down, he'll resign to himself being on the back. So
Jacare, the Jacare fight was a pretty good study in that.
Yeah, but recently, no.
I agree. He has, but since he's been with ATT, I think he's still with, or no, he might have left them now, but he was with them for a while. Yeah. And his takedown defense went through the roof. I mean, he doesn't really get taken down now. If anything, he'll take guys down. Koscheck took him down when he first came back for a minute, but he knocked him the fuck out. RDA's not he's not really a takedown artist. I mean, you could use his Khabib fight, but Khabib does that to everyone. Yeah. That doesn't really count, you know? I think it would be like how Magny was, right? If it's going to go to the ground, it'll be the result of something else. Yeah. Not just shooting a double, you know what I mean? It'll be like a trip off the cage, or, you know what I mean? He'd have to be a little sinewy with it.
The only recent one was probably Pettis.
I don't see it really being on the ground much, to be honest. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the only recent one was probably Pettis, where he uses wrestling quite well. But I think Pettis is a different animal, and I know you're friends with Pettis, but he's a different animal in terms of takedown defense. He's a smaller guy than Robbie Lawler too.
It was a game plan thing, you know what I mean? It made sense.
What I like about what Robbie Lawler has done, I'm just looking back through his record, as you burning the candle there, is that he's been in you look at the Rory McDonald fight, right? The Rory McDonald fight was just insane, like an absolute one of the greatest fights I've ever had the pleasure of watching. Then he followed that up with the Carlos Condit fight, which was one of the greatest fights I've ever watched. But like he took in between that, he took 6 months. Then he fought Woodley. He took 6 months. Then he beat Cowboy Cerrone. He's taken almost 6 months, coming up on just over 5 months. But has
it been that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
So what I like about he's 35 now, Robbie Lawler, but he's not coming out and fighting constantly. And the last couple of fights I mentioned, Woodley, he got knocked out. Conda, an absolute incredible fight. He won the fight. Wrongfully, I thought Conda won. But he had an incredible fight. And then the fight before that,
I think Conda won that too, by the way, if that's what you just said.
Yeah, definitely. Conda's the man. But I just feel that he's being clever. He's not rushing back into the octagon, and that I think will last him longer in his career. He's 35 now, Robbie Lawler, but I just think he's gonna have too much for RDA. Be it as both these are making excellent points. Both if Robbie Lawler is the aggressor and he's the one coming forward, I think he can finish RDA. And if Robbie Lawler is taking a back step and is getting under pressure and RDA, as you said, starts opening up, Robbie Lawler can land a colossal finish, like as you point out with Melvin. All these, there's many examples of it. And I just think Robbie Lawler, he's going to carry into this fight big welterweight power. Like he made, Rory McDonald did not want to quit against Robbie Lawler. Rory McDonald's body quit.
Insane.
Yeah.
McDonald wanted to get up, and his body literally went.
That was hard to watch as someone that knows him. Yeah. That was really hard.
But it was literally Rory McDonald's body.
That hurt my soul.
Yeah. Well, that's what Robbie Lawler says. He'll take your soul, and I just think we're gonna witness that this weekend. And I just think he's gonna have too much everywhere, be it on the front foot or on the back foot. And I predict here Robbie Lawler to get the knockout, probably in the later rounds, maybe round 4. Yeah.
One real quick aside, just on the intelligence of Lawler's approach, if we will, right? If that's the thread, he also took a big backseat to hard sparring a few years ago.
Yeah.
And most people close to him say that was when his fighting career really took long strides. Yeah. Like all of a sudden he was exponentially improving, right? So. Noteworthy and a great point, because he's doing that in other facets as well. To not do hard sparring, he's like, I already know how to fight. Yeah. I don't know that that's the best route, but it worked for him. So it's hard to argue with results sometimes.
Yeah, I'm going with Robbie Lawler too, probably by a finish. I think he's gonna hurt him. Maybe second or third round or something like that.
Second.
He's a savage, dude.
He's a beast. Yeah. One thing as well, just before we move on to the next one, I thought his last performance was great to see, because a lot of guys, when they get knocked out, they come back and they're really tentative, but straight away against Cowboy, came out throwing bombs, got a clinch, start throwing knees. So it's good. Like I think that a lot, when I look at guys when they get knocked out and they come back, I'm like, is he going to be afraid to throw a shot? Is he going to be afraid to get into that kind of fight? And he wasn't. He came back and it looked like he never got knocked out.
Oh, so aggressive. Yeah, ridiculous. So, although Cowboy's a slow starter,
that's true.
Doesn't do well against lefties. It was a smart strategy.
Of course.
We'll see.
Yep.
We'll see.
Your co-main event of the evening is Ricardo Lamas taking on Josh Emmett. Of course, Ricardo Lamas was originally scheduled to fight Jose Aldo. Aldo stepped in for the injured Frankie Edgar to take on Max Holloway, and aged 50 years. Ricardo Lamas here, is he going to have too much here for Josh Emmett? You think so off the bat? The only defeats really on Ricardo Lamas' career are to legitimately the best guys. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's not like he's losing to no disrespect, but you know what I mean? He's fought the stiffer competition, I think, is the more PC way of saying it, Brendan. He looked great as well in his last performance. He absolutely rocked the socks off Jason Knight that night and getting an incredible finish. Charles Oliveira before that, and again, this is for me. This is Ricardo Lamas making maybe one final push for the UFC gold.
Yeah, like it's a tough spot for Ricardo Lamas in ways, because if he does somehow lose the fight, that's a bad loss. A guy coming in late notice.
How disappointed is he that he's lost
hugely
Aldo, man?
Because this puts him. This is a lose-lose situation. Unfortunately, nobody knows who Josh Emmett is. Josh Emmett, he's kind of just like a brawler. He's he likes to stand up. He has an okay ground game. Gets into a lot of decisions. Had a lot of split decisions. Kind of always fights.
These fights are dangerous, though. You know, I don't have a read on that guy. Do you?
Not really. I've went back and watched some of his fights, but he's been in a lot of decisions. He's been in close fights. He likes to strike. That's really it. He's not even.
He's just definitely a stand-up fighter, from what I could tell. I just watched highlight clips. Just trying to figure out who he was.
Yeah.
I'll admit I didn't know much about him.
I don't think
but
anyone does.
it is so you're so right in the
Offense.
fact that it's lose almost.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a tough spot for him. Really tough spot.
it's weird. If I'm Lamas' coach, I wouldn't even have taken it. But you know.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what
It's just, I mean, it's winnable, but even if you win, I mean, if he goes out and whatever, there's a tornado kick knockout
Not gonna
5
mean
seconds
much.
in, everyone's going to go, yeah, but that guy sucked.
Exactly, yeah.
To me,
You know what I mean?
It reminds me a little bit when Tony Ferguson's fight fell away and Lando Venata took the fight, and everyone's like, who's this guy, Lando Venata? And next minute...
Although he was a bit of a prospect, but still.
Next minute, Lando Venata is absolutely lighting Tony Ferguson up. We're going, what the fuck?
And
then Ferguson comes back and wins and going, yeah, well, you were meant to win.
But it probably put Tony Ferguson back a couple of steps as well.
Yeah.
Like Daryl Horcher and Khabib, although Khabib's better. Continue.
Yeah.
He's going to have too much for me.
Wrestling wise, Ricardo Lamas hasn't beat easily. Striking wise, I thought his striking looked great against Jason Knight in his last one. He's getting a lot better.
He's a really good fighter. Like you guys said, he's only lost to really good fighters.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. He's very good. I don't see any path for Josh Emmett here. Yeah, tough.
Who knows?
Who knows? Exactly, who knows?
Well, he's a huge underdog, so the bookmakers know.
What's the line?
Well, it's 1.3 against 3.2.
I always forget I don't even get that. Yeah.
Either do I.
He's under.
You do the plus whatever odds.
Over, under,
we do the
plus
fraction.
minus. Yeah.
Yeah, we do the fractional odds, and then Noel picks the decimal odds.
Well,
that nobody knows.
I'll give you the fraction odds if you want to.
Yeah, I'll take the fraction odds. Yeah.
Grand, nice one. Yeah.
What are you doing? Some Rothschild odds over there? God save the Queen. Go ahead.
He's 11-5. Do you know what that means?
No.
It means you have to put 5 on to win 11. Correct?
Why not do it off of a 100-point system like we do? Ours is the same, but we use 100.
It's too easy.
Which is pretty easy to do.
It's too easy.
So someone's minus 1100, someone else is plus 130. It's always based on the 100-point line.
Coming from the guy, you have to either be on an Indian reservation or in 2 fucking cities to put a bet on. Don't tell us. We can gamble anywhere we want. We don't have to go on a vacation.
Going up 10 minutes from my house, dummy.
Yeah. We're in a fucking casino as we speak.
Are you really?
Yeah, sort of.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Call a hooker. No?
We don't have them now.
No,
Jesus, don't get crazy. Don't get crazy.
Yeah, but Lamas is going to have way too much. I'll read it in there.
I meant Dan Hooker.
Oh, yeah, Dan Hooker.
He works at a casino somewhere.
Excellent work. I didn't know this fight.
Glover,
Teixeira, yeah. Glover taking on Misha Cirkunov. Big fight. What do you think of this one, Brett?
I think that Misha, I was really high on.
Me too.
He just happened to run into the freight train that is Volkan Ozdemir, who just has outrageous power.
Definitely
and he clipped him too. He did all right, and then just like he does to everyone, he just lands something and they go to sleep. His hands are this big. It helps. But Misha's really, really talented and really good. So is Glover. Glover's losses have come against pretty high level dudes. Yeah. We'll see. Well, I think Glover's chin after Rumble, especially, Jones and him had more of a war. Rumble put him out quick, and he'll do that. I mean, he can do that to anyone, right? But I don't see that really. I mean, Glover's the type of guy like we were talking about earlier, where if he hurts you, he has a phenomenal submission game and top game and everything, but he's not like always trying for takedowns, really.
No.
I think he's maybe a little less well-rounded, to be honest, but he's way more experienced, too. Here's a guy who fought for the title at 205, and he was like, the next big thing for a little bit, too. Interesting, really interesting. I'd go with youth, I think, normally in this case.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I was the same as you. I was really big on Misha Cirkunov. I still think he's a great fighter. I think his grappling is phenomenal. Really is.
That's
his striking is good. Like he has a couple of knockouts, but
he's getting better.
It's getting better, but he's more of like a big puncher right now than a guy who would be really competitive against the likes of a Volkan Ozdemir or maybe even a Glover Teixeira. That's why I'm kind of leaning toward Glover Teixeira, because if you watch that last one against Volkan, he kind of caught him with this short, I don't think it was a right hand or something, behind the ear and dropped him.
Right. Yeah, over the shoulder.
And like that can drop anybody, especially a guy with such power. But Glover has some serious power too, and he throws shots like that. I just don't know if Cirkunov's defense is quite as good. Takedowns, I think if it goes to the ground, even though Glover is really good, even off his back, I think Cirkunov will have an advantage if he gets on top. But I don't see it going there. I think it's going to be a striking match, unless Glover looks terrible after that knockout loss, which can happen. We spoke about Robbie Lawler there. You never know. He could have come back to that Cowboy one and he could have looked awful. So that could happen. But
I forget. I was going to say, did Glover fight someone since Rumble?
Yeah, he's had two. He's fought
Gus
Cannoner and Gus Alexander Gustav.
Gus
knocked him out.
Oh, that's right. So Chin. And who was the other one?
Jared Cannonier. He won that one by decision.
Yeah, that guy I don't even think that guy's ranked.
No.
I don't know. But okay. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. I just think if it's it starts on the feet, and I think Glover will have the advantage there. I think he's the more technical, polished guy.
By the way, my one point of Misha Cirkunov, he knows somebody good in the UFC, because this is a great fight from coming off the feet. Big name.
Yeah, big name.
Great fight from.
Because his last fight was Volkan, right?
Yeah.
But as well, you have to remember that he re-signed with the UFC before his last one. And there was a lot of discussions around. He had a lot of discussions around that, and it took a long time for him to sign. So I assume he's on some decent money. So they got to get the work out of him.
That's a good point, though. That's a good point. He got kind of gifted a fight.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, Brendan. I think youth is a beautiful thing. But I just think that, at the same time, Rob, like Teixeira, his striking, his boxing is great. Like, he's coming out, he's still with the pit, isn't he? He still trains out in the pit, doesn't he, with John Hackelman, doesn't he? Or Hackelman?
I think so.
No, he trains actually kind of close to my house. Like, he's down in Connecticut.
Was he with Hackelman, was he?
Danbury area, but he's close to me.
Yeah.
Cool.
I could get to where he trains in like an hour, but he trains by himself. I think he left Hackelman or whatever. The Bruce Lee fan.
So I just think
that's an inside joke. But moving on.
Bruce Lee fan. Okay, we'll look it up.
We'll Google it.
Yeah, we'll Google that. Cirkunov, for me, this is a great fight for him. I think he has to get inside the boxing of Glover Teixeira. I think if he stands and trades, what happened with Volkan Ozdemir is going to happen here again, possibly. So I'm going to go with you, though.
Volkan's kind of like special power, though. That's not quite maybe Ngannou, but that's a different Rumble. He sparred with Rumble. I know because I know Henry. I don't want to use that as the litmus test of the guy's chin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, but I think there's levels to the power game. You know what I mean?
And for the love of God, don't touch Volkan Ozdemir's misses.
Yeah.
Whatever you do.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
Oh, yeah, that was a bad idea, huh?
Very, very, very bad idea.
A big error in his
part.
Great idea. Great on Volkan, though, from what I hear.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Well,
it's wonderful. Thank God Florida's got self-defense laws, right?
Yeah. I'm going to go with you to this one, though, Rob. I'm going to go with Cirkunov. I'm going to get him to get in the range. But I'm not going to be... This sounds like I'm fencing it here. I'm not going to be surprised if Teixeira gets the victory either.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. I generally go with youth, especially Glover, who's been up and down. And even his last one, he hasn't got a knockout in quite a while. But I just think he's going to come back and he's going to get something here. I think he's going to get something. So...
this probably is another standout
good
fight.
Good fight.
Good fight. Yeah.
I have to say, as much as it's Lawler and RDA main card, this fight is the fight I'm really looking forward to.
The people's main event.
I gotta say, it's Platinum Mike Perry.
Savage.
Against another savage.
Yeah, Ponzinibbio.
Santiago Ponzinibbio.
Ponzinibbio is an absolute killer.
Yeah.
Mike Perry is an absolute killer. And Mike Perry is talking...
Imagine this fight sucking. I can't picture how it's...
I can't.
Ponzinibbio, it's quite weird because Mike Perry has been having huge back and forth with Darren Till.
Yeah.
And Darren Till's going,
yes.
Perry, you realise you've got Ponzinibbio before Anton, so maybe focus on that. But what do we think of this one, gents?
I think... I'm pretty sure Mike Perry has 100% knockout ratio in his fights.
Possibly.
100%.
I will check that right now.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. And he's not even a heavyweight.
100%?
Welterweight.
Yeah, and
100%.
All his victories, yeah.
That's insane. That's totally bananas. So... that guy's got some, again, speaking of freakish knockout power, right? And, a little less weight, but that's still nonetheless terrifying, right? He's not the most polished striker by any stretch, but he's very good, and he's just that dude, kind of like a Lawler in a way, in that he's like he's got a street fighter swagger to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's got this like ready to Cody Garbrandt's like that. There's some guys that, and these guys are all great athletes. I don't mean this to dismiss them. I mean they're fighters. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude's a fucking fighter. And Ponzinibbio is a assassin, but he's aggressive too. It's gonna be like just a immovable object, resistible for whatever that is. You know, that kind of fight. I don't know. I can't imagine it not being amazing. If one maybe a little more polished, one a little more raw and powerful. You know, there's a little bit of thunder and lightning there, but they're very similar in the fact that they're going to go out there trying to kill the other guy. You know, that's the similarity.
What with me with this one is, like, as in Mike Perry, Alan Jouban sort of showed the way to be. Yeah. Mike Perry, frustrate him and keep him in range and keep moving and do that. But Ponzinibbio, he's been finished as well. Lorenz Larkin finished him in the second round? I think Lorenz Larkin finished. So they're both like, you know.
Yeah, no shame in that loss. Though. No. You know what I mean? Lorenz is a very high level striker. So
like Ponzinibbio is ranked 10th. Mike Perry, crazily, is not ranked at the moment.
At all, yeah.
But this is sort of a coin flip, and like if this was in the street, I'd pick Mike Perry because he just seems crazy.
Yeah.
But I think he is.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go. I am gonna go with Mike Perry here. I just think he's just got the power, and he's just that guy, you know. And I think he's focused that he wants Darren Till, and to get Darren Till, he has to be Ponzinibbio. So he's like, I fucking want Darren Till, so I'm gonna run through this guy first. Right. Well, I think if Ponzinibbio's way to victory here is to be technical.
Definitely.
Maybe try tire Mike Perry out, take him down, dump him on his ass, tire him out on the floor a bit, get him back up, put him down again. But I just, you know, again, this is a bit of a coin flip fight for me, but you know, it's landed on Mike Perry when I flip the coin. Yeah. I just think he's just got ridiculous power in that weight class, and he's just
fun too. He's just fun.
He is. He's very fun.
He's got a tattoo on his face that says platinum.
He does?
Yeah, over his eyebrow.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice. Yeah. I thought he had like a star here or something. Yeah. That takes a special kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a great fight. I think it's the hardest fight on the card probably to pick.
It's a great fight.
Mike Perry, as you said, Mike Perry is not the most technical of strikers, but he's got a lot better. Like really, like a hell of a lot better, even from the Alan Jouban fight.
He's a really good striker. He's just not like a jittery moving elusive guy. That's what when I say like street fight brawler types. I mean that could mean a couple of things, but in his case, he's like a guy that's like not even worried about moving his head.
No,
he's more worried about moving yours.
Yeah,
you know.
And that can be a problem though as well.
But like, look at the knockout of Jake Ellenberger.
Yeah, God. And the one of Alex Reyes, the elbow and the clinch, and then the knee.
Oh,
nasty.
That's a headache for three years.
Yeah. This one's just killing me. I don't know. Like Ponzinibbio, I think has the style to beat him, Mike Perry, but he can also get dragged into that fight. We've seen it a couple of times, especially when he got knocked out. And even the Gunnar Nelson one, he was getting hit. You know, getting hit a little bit by Gunnar Nelson. And if Mike Perry can catch it, man, he can put your lights out. And
yeah, absolutely.
See, I was going with Ponzinibbio. But I was going with him thinking he's gonna do that style, the Alan Jouban style, the blueprint. But I really do think
is this Rob's fence walk?
Yeah,
right now?
No. I'm coming to an conclusion. I was gonna go with that one, but I think he's learned from that. I really do think he's learned from that because I picked against him. I think the fight after because I thought the same thing was gonna happen. Yeah, not the Jake Ellenberger one.
It would have been if that was the fight after.
Yeah, was there a late pull out? The Alex Reyes one. There was a late pull out there.
He was pulled
sure?
out. Thiago Alves was pulled out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Thiago Alves.
Fought since then.
Yeah. I'm going with Mike Perry to land something crazy.
Huh? I just said late pullouts.
Oh, Jesus.
Whatever that means.
Was dirty with you. So, we got so far.
I'm going with Perry because I want him to win.
Yeah.
You're going with who?
Perry.
I want him.
He's just fun, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, man.
He's an
He's
entertaining
yeah.
fighter. Like, and
Yeah.
he backs it up. Yeah, he's not technical. He's a bit of an
Well, he
asshole.
is technical
but
in-
he's
in
air
moments.
asshole.
Yeah, but it's fun. That shit is fun
Yeah.
sometimes. I don't want everyone to do that.
Like,
I can't wait for his weigh-in.
Yeah, but his weigh-ins are deadly. Like, he always gives, and that's him just starting the mind games, just getting you to come out aggressive towards him. But when Darren Till beat Cowboy, like, he was up in the cage, like, as if it was madness between the two of them. And like, you have to fight Ponzinibbio.
He's a bro. Like, that's what he is. He's a bro. He's a bro.
Just let me bang, bro.
Like, he 100% wore Affliction and Tap Out t-shirts.
Yeah.
100%.
I still have a few of those.
I'm sure you do.
Do you know what he
I
has?
have one.
Do you know what he has as well? He has,
Don't
you
worry,
know that chain in your jeans?
Yeah.
He definitely has. You know a chain in your jeans? Like, he definitely has that. From his front pocket to his back pocket.
Yeah.
I like the orange Yankee hats with the flat brims, like here.
Yeah.
Those are.
He rocked
That's a
a
nice
badass Mohican the last time.
Yeah, and what was he doing? The chicken. He was
Yeah.
doing the chicken dance with the and the rooster.
He's out of his fucking mind.
He is. He's crazy.
Absolutely nuts. And that's it. His speech, wasn't it, in the cage, was like, don't get a tattoo on your face until you've reached your dreams or
Yeah,
something
like that, yeah. Kids, don't
He
get a
said
tattoo.
that on the mic?
Yeah, he said, kids, well, not on the mic. He said it as they were going to break. He said, kids, don't get a tattoo on your face until you reach your dreams or something like that. Solid
He's out of his
advice.
fucking
Solid
tree.
advice.
And it's his missus in his corner with him as well.
His missus is always in his corner going mental, yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
How can you not like this guy? He's a character, man. He's like a fucking movie character.
If you're fighting him, I'd say you'd hate him.
Yeah.
I'd say you'd fucking hate him.
But that's why I think the Tail Perry fight is absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I'd love that.
But it's weird, right? Like, Ponzinibbio is legit.
Yeah,
But
like,
I don't know. I just think Perry's got that.
honestly,
special
one side of me
mad.
thinks Ponzinibbio's going to go out and just, not clown him, but he's going to just land so many shots and Perry's going to be chasing him. Part of me says that, but I'm going to go with the Perry that goes in and just lands something crazy, like a crazy elbow or something. Beautiful. Yes, sir.